My nostrils are not what? Huh? Hi, I'm Nikki, also known as the Broke Entrepreneur, and this is Brokies. What is the most painful truth you admitted in this project? I think all of it. Maybe not necessarily to me. I think I've accepted it a while ago, despite not acting on it. I think all of it is a painful truth. It takes a while for someone with my type of mindset to actually come to terms with these feelings. But once I've come to terms with them, it's not like it's a big deal anymore. I can imagine it's a big deal for those who were on the opposite end of this, because maybe they expected this to be like something that was just kind of buried under the rug. And I don't believe in burying shit under the rug, nor do I really fully believe in rugs. So nobody wants to feel this way. I don't think anybody genuinely wants to feel most ways, though. Painful truths, they're everywhere. What is the most manipulative thing you've done in your poetry? I have this poem titled I Do, where it is wedding vows, but the flip end of them. And so, it is basically just a master manipulator giving their most truthful, authentic wedding vows. And I think that it definitely leads the audience or the reader into a false sense of security, but it also reveals some of my writing stylistics, I guess you can say, where the point is to feel with me in that moment. You don't have to understand it. You may not even agree with it, but you feel it though. And you might not like the feeling either. I think that might be the most manipulative thing about my writing, is that you can't help but to feel it as well, even if it's like disgust or I don't know, whatever it may be. What is the dark side of your vulnerability? Maybe it's never really fully revealed. I could say I'm a very vulnerable person, but I don't really think that I am, because if somebody asked me what's wrong, I could very lightly tap around the actual issue without explaining what's wrong, just because I don't like that. I don't like being that open with people. I don't like getting unsolicited advice. A lot of people don't like getting unsolicited advice, especially from me. So I don't want that either. And if I start being more and more vulnerable, it causes this thing where people want to like coo at you and try to make you feel better. And I'm just a very hard person to make feel better. And I don't like the process of someone trying if they don't exactly know what to do, which is most people, because who's going to sit there and read you like a book? Not many. And by you, I mean me. Not many people care. So it's hard to be vulnerable fully. I could kind of like the way that I would explain if somebody's like, oh, what's wrong? I'd be like, sometimes forces just really try to get you down in your day and it's hard to pull through, but I won't explain what that force is or what's making it hard to pull through. I just kind of tap around it. They'll usually be like, yeah, I get that. No, that makes sense. Yeah. And then we kind of move on, or they'll be like, same, and we kind of move on. The people who are like, well, what do you mean by that? I definitely get taken back by, but it doesn't happen that often. So that's the dark side, is that it's not really fully vulnerable. What is your go-to soundtrack when editing? I don't usually listen to music when editing because I'm trying to hear the audio in the video. If we're doing like rough cut editing where I'm just trying to get all of the spaces out of the video or something, I usually like to watch Michael Jackson's This Is It, or something like creative inspiration. There's this YouTuber named Maya, and they do like face masks and plan out their week. And I'm currently in the process of trying to really get a set work schedule down, because otherwise my work is scattered in places where it doesn't belong. I like more so like a parallel play vibe. I would put on somebody doing their own work and I'll do my own work, or I would go around my partner while they're watching TV or something, and I'll start doing my work. When I wrote my first book, I listened to The Shape of Water a lot, because I was watching By the Brook. I think she used to be an author tuber. I don't think she posts anymore, but she was talking about The Shape of Water, and I had never seen it before. And then I went to go listen to the soundtrack, and I love a good classical music. Okay, I'm a classical instrument. I'm a classical musician. I love a good classical music. It just does the thing. The Coraline soundtrack, because that is one of my favorite movies, and that is my favorite book. And I strongly believe in listening to the soundtracks of the movie to the book. Or if a book has a soundtrack, which not many of them do, we need to start doing that. Hey. Did you struggle more with the poetry or the cinematography? Definitely the cinematography, because I will overthink it. I just got to a place of writing where I'm like, screw it, just read it. I don't care. And people are enjoying it. Partially because of that I don't careness. It makes them not have to care, and we can all just kind of share bars. But when it comes to the cinematography, I'm still very sensitive about that, because I can make a good little clip. I can assume that I'm doing a good little clip, but I never really know, nor am I ever really fully proud of it. It's just the art that I never got to fully express. So I don't know a lot about how people feel when it comes to my cinematography. I just know a lot about cinematography, and I could talk and carry on about it for a long time. But the proof is in the pudding, so the cinematography is always going to be the hardest part of the video. I'm just nervous about. I'm always going to be nervous about. Did you use a particular color palette to tell a feeling? Just black and white. I think my business was inspired off of black and white because they are the most simple hues, shades, the original, whatever. Most stories can be told in black and white. Most books are printed in black and white. So we're just getting straight to the main course of things. We're not gonna try and bounce around what could have happened, what should have happened, or not how we feel about it or how it should have been. We're just talking about what happened and what I felt in that moment. And so that's a very black and white thing. There's not many shades of gray. I mean, arguably there can always be shades of gray. I'm not saying like there isn't, but in my mind, my intention when writing it was that this was a black and white storytelling, a black and white reciting of what occurred in my heart. That black and white for the business inspiration too, because ultimately this was said and ultimately this is what I did. So that's very black and white. Despite how people might feel of it, that's the shades of gray and the color that we can add into it. Everybody's feeling is very messy and very colorful. So we're going to keep it black and white. This is what happened. This is what I felt. I'm being honest. What did you learn about your own voice? I learned that my natural voice is a little bit relaxed, and the reason why I don't speak in it is because people will get tired and stop listening. Which is ironic because I do that to my best friend. Her voice is even more relaxing than mine. Either or. I also learned that my writerly voice is very different than how I sound when I'm speaking, and although I can articulate myself very well, one of my teachers in high school used to say it was morose. It could be seen as melancholy. I never seen it as a very sad thing, but I just recently got diagnosed with depression, so I am a very sad thing, unbeknownst to me. So I guess I learned that my voice is very sorrowful, very low and grim, maybe. In the words of my senior year English teacher, morose. Morose. What makes you feel I was born to do this? Every single time something happens to me that can contribute to a poem in this documentary, like every traumatic event that has occurred for me, I've always gotten this image in my head, like this would be a very good story to tell. And because I'm not really that deeply connected to the situation that's happening, I just have behavioral issues that I try to communicate, people don't listen to, and they always tick tick boom me. The fuse is too short to be playing around. Maybe we don't play around it, and then they play around it, and then it tick tick boom, and then it's not good. I'm not somebody that likes to joke as well, like, because I don't know how to take a joke. I don't know when somebody's joking with me. If you say, oh, this is a joke, and then you say it, I'm like, okay, I get it. I probably won't laugh, but I get it. But if you just start trying to joke with me, I'm not gonna get it, and I'm gonna take it serious, and I'm assuming you're just talking. In my eyes, a joke is very like, right? A joke is supposed to be funny, like what two cucumbers walk into a bar kind of situation. When somebody is like, look at this dude right here, I'm about to grill you. I don't get how that's a joke. I don't get how making fun of people is a joke. Like, I get why people would laugh about it, but I don't get how that's a joke. You're just laughing at someone. And for me, like, when you start laughing at me, I don't know. I just assume it's hostile. I don't take it that way. And because I don't take it that way off the back, I'm gonna ask you, why did you just say that? And then there's gonna be a disagreement about, when they say that part, it was just a joke. Part of my brain is like, oh, okay, they were just joking. The other part is like, I don't like to joke because I say that all the time. And so in those moments, like when I realize that they're not serious about it, I think like, oh, this is probably a good scene to add to a movie. What is one thing you are not sharing? Names. Hey, we're not gonna get into who these people are. We're not even really gonna get into other people. There's just figures within the documentary that we need to be aware of, and then there's me about how I felt in regard to it. And the only reason why I'm centralizing how I felt is because one, I got my full experience, right? I didn't get the other person's full experience, nor did I get, whatever. So I got my full experience, so I can speak on my full experience. I also think that the way that I feel towards this is very similar to how many people have felt in their situations, because this is not just like, oh, this one thing happened to me and this is the worst thing in the world, like why would this ever happen to me? No, this is something that happens to a lot of Gen Z, one, a lot of closeted queer people at the time, two, a lot of Black American or people of color, three, it just happens to people, right? It's not like this is not an isolated situation. I'm not alone in this. So speaking, I feel as though when I speak how I feel, it can maybe allow people to agree so that they don't have to say it. I would rather take the heat for that and allow people to say, yeah, no, I kind of get it. Like, this is like, I went through the same thing too. My whole goal is for people to say, I get it and it is what it is, because that's where we are right now. It really is just storytelling. Enjoy the story. We don't need to get specific. It's a story. What is the best way to consume this art? Alone, in a group? Honestly, I would say it's best to consume most things alone, only because when you consume things in a group, you kind of get pressure to agree with them. So I would say everybody can have their own experience when it comes to reading it. But if you like something and you want to share it with somebody and you want to talk about it, definitely pick it apart. We need people reading and thinking. So whether they agree with it or whether they don't, whether they like it or not, or if you feel something and need to have a conversation about it, I would hope that this project makes you do that. But also, I would hope that you could be just in your own space. A lot of people like to read on Substack, in bed and stuff like that. I would just hope that maybe one day you're in your own space and you're just getting these poems into you, or you're reading them in the future after they've all been published, and you just feel something, you feel something within yourself, and then you could feel something with other people, or however you want to. But I think it's best consumed by yourself first.